just like wipe it and shoot. We did. I think we might have learned something. Okay. So Germany is down. They're crushed. Throughout the 1920s, they're ruled by. You have this in your notes, right? Yeah. The Weimar Republic. Okay. Are they any good?
No.
They're horrible. They're ineffective, incompetent, right? They have nothing. They can't get Germany off its feet. Blah 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 blah. So they stink. This is exacerbated. This is made worse by the 1929 stock market crash. Okay, so for about 5 years, Germany is even deeper into the shitter because here comes the Great Depression. Now, if Germany had very little money before the Great Depression, they have nothing, and whatever they do have, they owe it out to America or Europe. So if Germany had ever had any chance of coming back, the Great Depression crushes it. This is Germany having their oh shit moment, meaning we have no idea where our next Wiener Schnitzel is coming from. All right? Yes, we have no idea like what to do. They're done. We're cooked, and we're Germany. Into this situation steps our boy Adolf Hitler. Okay. So now, wait. What's it? Oh, okay. Here comes the little guy with the mustache, Adolf Hitler. Now, it's not the point. I'll bet you there were a lot of little guys with mustaches running around Germany trying to get power. There's always people trying to get power. There's people like I'm sure in South Jersey that want to be governor. Okay. Why was he allowed to climb to the top of the heap? Because he had a message for the German people. He said to them, you know that World War I thing? That wasn't our fault. We should have had our empire. We should have our day in the sun. We should have. Our military was great. You guys were the best. We got stabbed in the back by two groups of people. The communists and the Jews. So, we're going to go back and get the communists later. But let's go get the Jews. Right? They don't have a country. They don't have guns. We can take care of them now. We'll take care of the communists. And the German people said, sounds like a plan. Okay, at that point, you're Hitler. Your party starts to rise. Your Nazi party starts to rise in power. I told you, don't be fooled by the word Nazi. National Socialism. They were not socialists. They were fascists. They were an autocratic government. Do you know what I mean by this? Here, how about a tyrant? Tyrant, emperor. Okay. Don't be fooled by the Nazi. Because I'm going to ask you this on the test to explain this to me. Here's what you're going to say to me. The word Nazi means National Socialist, but it's a misnomer. It's an incorrect word. He only did this to tease the people into thinking they were going to get some stuff. All along, he was a fascist, and he was going to be an autocratic tyrant, and he knew it. Okay, so don't be fooled by this. He was a fascist. Okay. Now, the fascist Hitler, who calls all the shots. Like in this room, I'm the fascist. If you want to think, like in other words, right? You agree? If I want to have a free period, can we? Sure. If I want to work bell to bell, even though I never do. If I wanted to, could I?
Yes.
If I wanted to. So I'm like a fascist. Okay. So I'm like in this room, I'm a fascist. In Germany, so is Hitler. You're Hitler. You promised the German people you were going to put back the elements of the empire that got taken away from you, stolen from you in World War I. They stole our empire. I'm going to start stealing it back. So he goes about, he does two things right up front. He takes a piece of land back called the Sudetenland. I know, you don't like this word. I know you don't. This is a piece of real estate over by Czechoslovakia that Hitler had always thought was German. Then he goes into Austria, and he takes that. The term they call that is the Anschluss. Okay, so you're Hitler. It's 1937, right? The Jews are running scared. The communists are over there, right? You're starting to build your Nazi party. Okay. He decides to take back these two pieces of real estate. Okay. This breaks the terms of what treaty? The Treaty of Versailles.
Why though?
Because he wasn't allowed to have an army.
Oh, no.
So now his army is going in. He's not just doesn't have an army, he's taking shit. Like it's one thing for you to have an army. Now you're sending your army out and what? Taking shit. Okay. Now, look at me. If you're Europe and everybody signed off on this, and you forbid Germany to have an army, and then he goes into these two lands and takes them, what should you have done? You should have gone back into Germany and cleaned house. They were tired. They just got done fighting. They didn't want to go back to war. They were willing to kind of go, if I can't see it, what? Then maybe it's not happening. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay, so, at that point, Europe, rather than go back into Germany and clean house, they decide to have a meeting. Which the second somebody says let's have a meeting, you know you're done. You're done. No meeting. The second you have to have a meeting, all is lost. Meetings stink. They decide to have a meeting. All right? In Munich. All right. A guy named Nevel Chamberlain from Great Britain. Nevel Chamberlain. They go into Munich, and a guy named Nevel Chamberlain is the British Prime Minister. You know him? Mm-hmm. Okay. He has he's got a policy of dealing with Hitler. His policy is called appeasement. A policy is called appeasement.
It's where they just let him do it until he's like out of it.
It's a little kid running around Walmart. He won't shut up until finally you buy him the damn toy he wants. Then he wants another toy, and you buy him that toy. Just rather than backhand your kid, you give him shit. Now, here's the problem with that. Nevel Chamberlain goes back to Great Britain and says, "Look, we're gonna let Hitler have this. If you're Hitler, what just happened? You were a bad boy, and what'd you get for it? You got a toy. Well, if they gave me this shit for being bad, watch this. Think about being a little kid. If you gave me a truck and a ball because I screamed, what happens when, well, suppose I shit on the floor? What do you give me then? Right? Then you're really going to give me something. I'm serious. Hitler's thinking what? You guys, wait a minute, I took these two lands and you had a meeting? Right? And you what? You had a policy of what? Appeasement, meaning that this is okay with you? Okay, this is called the Munich Pact. We're going to let Hitler have that, and he's not going to shit on the floor.
And then he shit on the floor.
And then he shit on the floor.
Right in front of
But it wasn't his floor. Whose floor did he shit on?
Poland.
Poland. Go.
So you want him to not do this?
Yes. But
This is so counterproductive.
yes, that's the whole point. This is why politics are so nuts. They should have gone back in and smacked his ass when they had a chance. Like when that little kid in Walmart screams for the truck and he starts stamping his feet, smack him on the ass. Right. Don't give him the truck. Okay, so that point, he's got a policy of appeasement. Now, let me tell you something, ready? In the history of the Western world, Nevel Chamberlain has never lived this down. Even today, when you go to, okay, by the way, he's famous. You can't, if the name Nevel Chamberlain ever comes up, he comes up as one of the weakest individuals in the history of the Western world. Now, listen to me. I have no idea if Nevel Chamberlain was a good prime minister or not. But no matter what he did, he will always be known for giving Hitler the truck when he stamped his foot. Be careful what you do, because sometimes you can live a great life and you do one thing and that's all anybody ever remembers about you.
Did you give Hitler the power?
Did he give Hitler power? Well, he's certainly going to take it from him. Okay, in other words, I'll just keep giving him trucks. So, if you're Hitler, you've made this Munich Pact. All right? I'm not going to sit on the floor. All right? But the last time I did, I got trucks for it. So if you're Hitler, what? I'm going to do what I want. You didn't do anything for it. So now where does he go? Now he goes into a country that is a real country. It is a sovereign nation. He goes in and he overruns it in about a month. He goes into Poland. Bang! This is it. Now the European countries can't turn a blind eye to Hitler. When you took the Sudetenland, people couldn't find that on the map. Nobody cared. Even when you took Austria, Austria might have been part of Germany. Maybe he had a right to it. But Hitler does not have a right to Poland. So when he took that, bam, here comes World War II. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go into World War II like your history teacher. I assume you go into battle strategy and blah, 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 blah. I want to make sure you know some things. Do you know, all right, here's the thing. What I want to do next, if you don't know this, then do yourself a favor and never ever speak of World War I or II if you don't know these things. It's like, ready? It's like, no, it's like this. You want to talk about baseball, but you're not quite sure where second base is. But you want to talk baseball. My advice would be to you, don't ever talk baseball until you, okay. So what I want to show you is where the bases are. Does that make sense? So this is just where the bases are in the 20th century war stuff. So you have, these are like the shit that you have to know to be human. Let's go. The major,
Mr. Buchanan.